Why did you go into teaching?
The reason I got into teaching is because of my passion and the love for me to just empower others.
Okay. Alright, so you attended a course with us, or through us,
Yes.
the Successful Candidate, right?
Mm.
Just tell us about your experience. What did you learn? How did you find the course? What is it that you know now that you did not know before? Yeah.
Okay, with the Successful Applicant, I can start by saying like I received the information that I received is so much appreciated, guys. Like I'm overwhelmed, and I think like I'm going back to school again. The Successful teacher.
You make a very good point today, right? Because as much as you have that personal life and you have a social life, there must be a distinction between the two. Yes, the child would be Gomgruvo or wherever, right? But what is your responsibility once you see that child? Okay. The parents, yes, could have allowed the child to go out. We don't know the situation. So how born that child in that particular place? What is your responsibility? Do you continue being in the same space as the child? Because that's where the respect gets lost.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello everybody, welcome to Couch Talk with NHS. I am your host, Mpele, aka Boss Lady, and I am with Zanele, Buthelezi, aka Zanele. And before I introduce our guest for today, so you guys have asked, right? We received a message on, I think it was LinkedIn or some social media platform, that we should just invite unemployed people to our podcast. So today we are joined by Thoko Marutle. How are you, Thoko?
I'm good, and how are you?
I'm okay, thank you. So, just in brief, right? The podcast is just to educate, right?
Yeah.
I think for you, it's also just to open up a lot more opportunities, maybe in case there's somebody that is interested, in getting to having your CV or maybe meeting up with you.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about who Thoko is. It shouldn't feel like an interview, must talk. Because I know I get easily into that. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Marutle Thoko, and then I'm from Limpopo in Successful, but then currently I'm staying in Mamelodi for employment roles. Oh yes, I'm looking for work around Gauteng. So I hold a postgraduate certificate in education, which I obtained in 2022. And then I obtained it after I started with my Bachelor of Commerce in Economics. So yeah, that's where I am.
Okay. Why did you go into teaching?
The reason I got into teaching is because of my passion and the love for me to just empower others. Like it started from me like having the love for economics, knowing more about our economy, what's happening. So I wanted people to be like, how nice is it to know about the economy? How will it benefit you? So I got into the teaching profession because I wanted to help other learners know that there is life in economics and business, because it seems like people are discriminating the commercial subject. Those who like, no, they're not that much important. Do science, you'll get work after the. No, it's not like that. They also matter the subject. So I wanted people to know, if you are doing economics or business or accounting, don't feel down or be ashamed or say, no, people are going to take me somewhere. No, this is what you love, you're going to do it and you're going to excel in it.
Exactly.
So yeah.
It's the same, you're raising a very important point, because it's exactly the same thing that people say about HR. HR is easy.
Yes.
And if you shy away from it, then you feel like it's nothing.
And you're gonna end up being miserable.
Exactly.
Imagine doing science and then yes, you excel and then get a work. Always you're depressed at work because this is not what you want. This is not what you love. So we should just always follow our passion, regardless of what people say. Yeah.
So you started with a degree in economics, I guess.
Yes.
So when you did that degree, in between you looking for employment, which then led you to your passion for also imparting knowledge onto other people, what were you busy with?
I was mentoring and tutoring back at home in Successful. So it started after completing matric because I have always loved sharing knowledge. I just I don't know, I feel like I chose the computer stream. It is too easy for me. That's how I feel like. So I sometimes did not understand or how come some people don't get it. Like we have business studies and they'll say this is business and then people say no, it's too much work, I won't do business. This is around you, there are many business around you. It's more like they say calculate profit. We all know profit. You just say like your income, what you have, and then minus what you spend. That is just business. That is just economy. So I did mentoring and tutoring from 2018, and then I was doing it part time because when we closed at institutions, I attended at the University of Mpele. When we closed during recess, I'll go back home, and then we have winter classes whereby during winter classes we host sessions whereby we teach learners who are not able to afford the winter sessions from other places. So we help them, mentor them, tutor them. So yeah, that's why I say, okay, I completed my degree in economics, then what's next? Let me just follow my tutoring and mentoring, just go straight into the teaching profession. Yes.
I like how you are, because I think now with everything evolving, right? Bringing the world in the classroom. So it doesn't have to be expensive. Making examples just to cater for the different learning styles in your classrooms, that you can use your normal everyday things, apply the knowledge. That's very nice. It's something that's thinking outside the box.
Some your aunts, uncles have business.
Exactly.
Be involved in those business. It will help you master and have more knowledge about the business studies. Yeah, that's how it is.
That's very true.
That's absolutely very true. So now you graduated in which year again?
For
your PGCE?
PGC in 2022.
2022.
No, I graduated this year.
But you completed. You completed it in 2022.
Yes, I graduated this year, this year.
Okay. And then how are you finding the market? I mean, you are unemployed. You completed your qualification last year. You're unemployed. So how have you been finding the job market?
The job market is so stressful. Yes, it's so stressful and it needs a lot of time, determination, and could be consistent. If you see you want to apply, make time for yourself, and you are what do you call it? Make time for yourself and with job hunting. If you say this month I'm gonna submit like say 10 CV, do it. If it means you going extra mile, just do it. Because sitting down is gonna just put more pressure on you. Time is not waiting for you. So yeah, the job market is so stressful because we get posts like they say they're looking for an educator and they'll say they're looking for someone with economics and English. You say, how come? It's not always that you measure with economics and business. I mean economics and English or business or in maths.
The combination.
Yeah, the combination.
Yes.
So I feel like somehow it's draining us, it's making us lose hope, but we're not losing hope because one way or the other we're gonna get into the system also.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And outside of the, maybe in addition to what you're saying, right? What are the other challenges that you face as someone who's on the market?
The other challenges is making a CV, having a good CV. So, it's very challenging. It's not easy to just wake up and say, I'm drafting my CV, I'm changing my CV. You're going to say, would it be worth it but what if my CV like is fine the way it is? And submit a CV, no one will give you feedback. No, you did a mistake on this CV. You have supposed to return this. You have not supposed to return that. So that's a lot of work. Yeah.
And have you been in any interviews since you started being on the market? Because you completed your qualification last year. Since January this year, have you been in any interviews?
I have not been in the interview with regards to the teaching profession, but with others, yeah, I have been in just one interview, yeah.
But did they provide you feedback?
No, not provided feedback. And to make it kind of like worse, they opened applications again. It was August, I think, and then I reapplied again, and then even today I did not get feedback. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So you attended a course with us, or through us, the Successful Candidate, right? Just tell us about your experience. What did you learn? How did you find the course? What is it that you know now that you did not know before? Yeah.
Okay, with the Successful Applicant, I can start by saying like I received the information that I received is so much appreciated, guys. Like I'm overwhelmed, and I think like I'm going back to school again because I have to start some things again. I had to like set my goals. It's like I was not serious, but then I was looking for work. But then after doing the Successful Applicant course, it's like you were playing. You must do. You were really playing. So I said, okay, for starters with my CV, I've noticed that I've done a lot of wrong things on my CV. And to be honest, that like the people who would say CV revamps. So yeah, to be honest, someone did it for me. I didn't do it myself.
Yourself.
Yeah. So like with the Successful Applicant, now I have confidence. I have the knowledge. I have everything that I need for me to draft my own CV, sit down and do my CV, do my cover letter. I'm no longer the secretary. So I received a lot of information, and also I didn't know that there is something called like a pre-screening interview.
Yeah.
So you guys telling us about pre-screening. Okay, so
and the conduct, because we helped a lot about the conduct in terms of when you receive that call, how you need to present yourself.
So now it means I must change like my renewing tone, because you must be to be in a professional manner at all times. It doesn't matter whether you have a social life or what. Just if you know what you want, just follow what must be done. And also must change my ringing tone and also my voicemail note, because they all matter. Imagine someone calling them not getting invited, they say, hi, we can try next time. Those kind of things. Yeah, so, and the other thing that I've learned is the interview preparation and process. That one was somehow, because we also did the mock test, the mock interviews. So I feel like now I feel like even if someone can give me a call and say, come into me, I'm ready. I'm 100% ready, because I received a lot of information about the Successful Applicant. I know what to include and what not to include on my CV, how to structure my CV, and most important thing, always be careful of the grammar. I think that's was the most important thing about the CV, because we mainly focus on the content, but we don't care. Did you put a full stop? Is there a comma? Is there capital letters? We don't overlook into those kind of things. Yeah.
Okay, and then just the platforms and the where you are looking for jobs, because we would like to in terms of trying to get you out there on the market. What do you do when you're saying you are looking for a job? Is it only just submitting to a specific Department of Education only, or are there any other platforms, or are there any other things that you are doing to set yourself apart?
There must be other things that we can't just sit and say I'm wanting to get work into the teaching profession. In all other things, you must start low. There is someone that you must start. If it means we have posts like teaching assistant, that are the posts that we should venture into and tackle them and get into those, because they will help us go into the teaching profession. Yeah.
So as a starting point, maybe
It's a
just
starting
something
point.
to yes.
To be busy with something, not just say I want to be a teacher. I don't want to do any kind of work. But then if that work gives you other opportunities to go into the teaching profession, take that work. If it means you being a volunteer, help other teachers at school, maths, groups, and other that things, take that job. Volunteer where possible. You can also host like a mentorship or tutoring session for learners for free, just so you cannot forget the content. Because the more you sit at home, the more you do Netflix and all other things not related to your teaching profession or your work profession, the more you forget all other things. So the time you get work, it's gonna be difficult for you to go back and refer and say, yo, there's something called corporate social responsibility. What is it?
So that's very important because I mean, if you stay longer without a job, like you said, you sometimes tend to forget, you know, because you now, I wouldn't say relaxed as such, but you're not going back to content where as you were a teacher, you prepare all the time in terms of your lessons, right? So how do you keep yourself updated with all the changes that are happening in your lessons, maybe, and with things that are happening in your subjects?
You can do that by just have a portfolio, which you can go through as time goes on. Maybe it can even go to an extent of like, if they say this is term 2, isn't that you're waiting for work? You are looking for work. So it's term 2 or term 3, and then you go through the chapters that learners do during that time for in case you get work.
That's very important because sometimes when you applying for a job, especially in the middle of the year, or like for example, third term specifically for teachers, you need to know where you are because getting in there, you're not only having the luxury of, you know, having time to know your learners, like January, having time to build a relationship. You need to now build the relationship very quickly, adjust to the learners, have content. It's third term, you know, so now you just need to get those things. So it is very, very important to always keep up to date and to always know where you are.
Yeah, and also so with economics, it means having you like go through the news, know what is happening in the economy. Now the key interest rate is changing and all that things. No, because you're gonna have to use that knowledge, apply it in the classroom, especially with economics, because you can never run away from the activities of the economy. As a teacher, I think that's what I think for you to have successful future leaders that you want to make in the classroom, not just only implement knowledge or just give them knowledge and just theory, or just know what is economics and then it ends there. They should know, okay, if the consumer price index is at 4.8%, what does it mean? Yeah.
I was about to say the very same thing, to say it also helps to keep up with the news. What's there on the news will help you in terms of structuring your lessons also. Should it happen that you get, for example, a maternity post, it's just a fixed term contract, you are able to bring real life situations into the classroom, which then helps you in terms of one, you would have already known where the class needs to be. If that particular teacher could not, for whatever reason, get to that topic at that was supposed to be covered, for example, in term 3, and you come in term 4, at least you can catch up the work that was supposed to be done, while you also give practical examples of what is currently happening, so that they can relate to the content. Because once you speak about things that they hear, then it becomes easier for the learners to remember.
It's relatable.
Because
it's an everyday thing.
You know, and it also makes you unique and be different. And say, let's say it's a maternity post and then you're in that post, and then after it's done, the previous teacher comes back, and the learners will still hold on to you, say, but that one provided us knowledge in a different way. We don't remember everything because she or he gives us examples.
That's what I'm saying. It's very important to be relatable in this kind of, because I mean, you're catering to a different different kinds of learning styles. So you need to be relatable. They need to remember, have examples like bringing technology or the world inside the classroom. Inside the classroom.
With business studies, you can also make a use of like business owners around, invite them to the school, talk
Exactly.
to the learners. We have a chapter of a business plan. Let the learners know a real business plan. How does it look? How does an income statement look? So that way, learners will always be motivated and also ready to learn because they know what they are learning. Maybe some they are future entrepreneurs, some are future business leaders out there. So they'll be able to remember all that you did with them and be able to use it in future or also use it at home. They are mothers of business. Okay, mommy, I learned about the income statement. Okay, let's draft the own income statement. This is what we include in the income statement. This is what include in the balance sheet statement. Yeah.
And such lessons, they stay longer in the mind because you're doing it practical.
Yes.
You can relate to the content. So that's good. And also when you want to, even for the people that are listening, when you want to keep yourself up to date with the recent information, because as a teacher, you need to also keep learning new things, right? There's courses on LinkedIn that they can attend to or listen to webinars. There's podcasts that are very informative. That's
educational.
Yes, that's another way of keeping yourself up to date with the latest trends.
Yes.
We also had a visitor a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Jalinjat, who spoke about teachers needing to read, not only study, just read, update yourself, gain the knowledge, go through certain programs or short-term courses that are just relating to your subjects around or with regards to education as a whole. Yeah. So based on what you've seen then, Thoko, and everything that you've learned through the Successful Candidate, if we were to ask you what the competencies of a successful teacher, what do you think is required for a teacher? Competencies, what sort of skills?
So it's like employed or
Just a normal teacher, what do you think are the skills required to become a good, successful teacher? Or what makes you a good, successful teacher?
a successful teacher. You must be like a leader. So it depends on what kind of leadership style do you have. So it means having to serve people, having to serve the community, it means you must compromise. Some of the things that you want, you will not get them. Even if you want to go to groove, go to the taverns, you have to limit yourself because learners are looking at you. Everyone is looking at you. See, I'm a servant leader, I'm a leader, I'm a teacher, and then you are doing this kind of things on the weekend. So how do you want learners to look at you on Monday? Because they'll hold conversation with you. Say, yo, sir, we saw you go guy. You don't know them, not no child and go other things. So that's how I think a successful teacher should.
You make a valid point there, right? Because as much as you have that personal life and you have a social life, there must be a distinction between the two. Yes, the child would be Gomgruvo or wherever, right? But what is your responsibility once you see that child? Okay. The parents, yes, could have allowed the child to go out. We don't know the situation. So how honor that child in that particular place? What is your responsibility? Do you continue being in the same space as the child? Because that's where the respect gets lost. Today, okay, how am I going to listen to you and respect you? Whereas we're doing the same thing, So yes, you must have a social life. We're not saying teachers are not human, they shouldn't have social lives. But how you present yourself as their role model plays a huge role. Because that's where they're going to know, I need to respect this person, So those are some of the skills that I feel like we need to educate our educators on, because yes, they have studied their degrees, they have studied their qualifications, but there's certain soft skills that are not covered when you do your degree. So those soft skills are the skills that could help in terms of mitigating certain things from happening.
and it can also catch up with you. Imagine you're at a tavern, a local tavern, you're teaching at a local school, and then comes to the end of the term or year, your learners have failed.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, this is the reason why.
Parents will be saying, yeah, well, I'm and they're not lying, they always see you.
That's what you
are
portray.
yes. So you must just be careful of what we do. Even if what we post on the social media, how we interact with learners, do not be too comfortable. Because learners can sometimes lie, some lie. You know, you're too comfortable with a learner, and then maybe she end up being raped by someone, and then maybe that someone threatens her and says, do not tell people that is me. She can point it to you. She can point it to you.
So after attending the course itself, what sort of additional skills did you gain?
Well, the additional skills that I gained, I would like to start with. I didn't know that there's a website called Isasa. So after finding out there's a website called Isasa, I went through it, and then I was surprised and saying, no, there are no posts for commercial subject. But then when I got there, I found like 16 posts.
Have you applied? Before you even, have you applied?
Yes.
Okay.
2 already I have.
Out of 16?
Yes.
What was the goal?
What was the...
No, there is a goal. I'm still applying.
Okay.
So I'm still applying. Isn't that like you need to, with the successful applicant, I learned that you can have a CV and a cover letter, but then the schools are not different. They have different values, they have different interests and culture. So you must match up your values and interests with the school.
So you are changing. No, you're not changing them to what the school has. You're just aligning what yours are.
Yeah, with the school.
If they do align, yes. Yeah. Okay. So you are still going to apply for the 16 posts?
Yes, I'm still going
Okay, no, go back to Zane's question.
You were saying
the additional skills.
So it's the Isasa website, and then how to have a cover letter, a good cover letter, because my previous cover letter, I think it was a 1 page and a half, I don't know, somewhere there. So I've learned that there are things that you shouldn't be too boastful. Don't be too detailed in the information that they can find on the CV. Like saying, I did PGC and then I obtained like an average of 65%. They will really look at your CV, they'll find that you did a PGC in this subject, economics or business studies, and then also the CV writing. But the most important thing that I loved about the Successful Applicant course is the CV preparation and process. How you dress, the dress code that is suitable for an interview, and then that you must like always at all times black and white, and be careful of what you wear. You cannot wear something like this and issues the rest of your. And then also the black and white, the dress code, and then how you ask strategic questions in an interview, because sometimes I think we find ourselves like they interview you and then after they ask you, do you have any questions? You say, no, I don't have any question. There must be something that you must ask. Have 2 questions, at least 2 to 3 questions that you can ask the board. Okay, you asked me a question, now it's my turn. I want to know something about the school, or how do you guys communicate in the school, the meetings and all other things. And then also the pre-screening process. I didn't know about that. We are sometimes being pre-screened. Maybe that's why we didn't get interviews so far, because maybe they called us and then we didn't answer, or we talk in a way that is not suitable to talk. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So you just mentioned a couple of things, or a lot of things that obviously are included in the Successful Candidate training course. So given an opportunity then, I mean, you've got the platform. So if there's somebody who's listening or who's watching the podcast, what would you say? Just sell yourself. What would you say to them in terms of who Thoko is, qualification-wise. So it's just, let's take it as the last question of why should we hire you?
Okay, one thing about me, I love empowering, and then I have strong communication and leadership skills. I think I learned it from a young age. At primary, I always wanted to be involved in something. If ever there's a function, I wanted to do something, and then you know how they will read you. It's not like that, this is just who I am. So this is who I am, strong communication and leadership skills. And then I loved empowering and being involved. Not only just to teach, empower learners, make them the future leaders. You know, like sometimes people will say like education is starting to become useless. You know, that's what they're saying these days. It's not that it's useless, it's how you transfer it. Because if you're gonna stand in front of me every day and just tell me about a chessbook,
there's nothing interesting in that thing that I'm going to. You are right, the transferring of knowledge is how you do it.
How
is
you
very
do it.
important.
Give learners examples, empower them, show them, okay, this and this person, Zanele or Neo, did this subject. Look at them where they are. Stop listening to people and say teacher is useless. Stop listening to people that commercial subject and they are not useless. They are there for a purpose. So imagine if you were to compare those subjects and then have an economy with no lawyers, no accountants, no economists who will run all those things. You're gonna get people outside and run away doing such not good. So and yeah, I love people, I love empowering, I love communicating, and then I just love being in a team, surrounded by leaders, sharing knowledge and information. I'm always ready to learn something. That's why I'm telling the Successful Applicant. I always want to be different. I always want to know something new. Not just say, okay, I'm a teacher. Now I know everything. No, I don't know everything. If you ask me something about HR or something, maybe I don't know it. So I'm always willing to learn and I'm persistent. I do not easily give up. Because during my practicals, you know, like learners will test you. They will just say like, no, this one is young, and make noise and say, you're not going to do it anymore. I'm going to make sure that you and I have an inclusive classroom.
That's good.
I'm going to make sure you and I cooperate together in order for me to finish my practicals and do what I have come to do, and in order for you to gain knowledge. So yeah, this is what I have.
Okay. Just to vouch for you, the leadership skill or leadership quality that you mentioned just now came out because you took charge.
Yes.
Well, class leader. You took charge, so that's where you can actually see it's one of the things that we were talking about, that don't just try and find things that you think are good to say. How do we, because at any given moment you are being looked at, you are being tested. And it, like I said, rightfully so, with the leadership qualities, it came out because you did. You don't easily give up.
No.
You don't.
No. I remember
don't.
university, you know, like there are like many programs there, and then I will try to do others and then not find interest, and then until there was this other community, it was called Economic Students Association, we call it ISA. So I joined it there, started being a member. Okay, fine, we hold like debates just to discuss about the economy. Every month we must just discuss about something. And then until I became an active member, and then I said, okay, active member now, and then they wanted to elect new committee or new executive, so I told them, so no, I want to be involved, and then yeah, I got voted, but then I was an additional member, but then it was something I have learned something through that committee. Yeah.
In
So
the executive leadership.
Yeah, the executive leadership, the organizational skills. We used to plan like trips to or organize debates, go to schools, motivate learners, just like with my mentoring and leadership. Like at home, in January, we would go to schools around the village, motivate learners so that they can have like a positive start. Some they have failed, they are discouraged. So we are there to make them do not be discouraged. This year you can do it. You will pass and go to the next grade, just like others.
That's very positive. I mean, trying to motivate people when you yourself also needs motivation at times.
Yeah.
So then I'll leave you with the same words. Do not be discouraged. Something will definitely open up, as we discussed it today. Something will definitely open up, and sometimes you also just need to remember that you are given the information. What you do with the information is up to you.
Yes.
Right? If you attend a training course and you think it ends there, if you're not going to apply it, if you're not going to practice, nothing is going to change. But if you work at it, you know your weaknesses or your developmental areas rather, you know what it is that you need to work on, continue with that.
Yeah, that's why I say I feel like you guys, like, I'm going back to school after because I gained information. Now it's my turn to work.
Exactly.
To set the goals. We
Yes.
also learn about the goal settings and that. So I've already started setting my goals. Okay, November.
I'm happy about that.
November, I'm teaching 25 years, so there must be a change between now until November the 20th. It's either I'm employed or I'm doing something that will contribute to my teaching profession. Yeah.
I mean, the market on its own is hard.
It's tough.
So if you're
It's
not
tough.
going to do something about it, you can't just sit and say, oh, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. Then what? Because, so you know, yes.
And you're gonna start blaming the government.
Exactly. Poor government, but what is
They
doing?
have no jobs. Now they can say no, the government must do away with the teacher's assistant post. They are helping others. The employment rate is very high. It's not always about you. What about others? If ever they do away with the teacher's assistant post, and then we go back to a high unemployment rate, because most of the people that are employed, there's some they won't just have matric. So when you have a teaching profession, do something that will set you apart so that you can get into that post, get into that school, so that you can be employed and stop blaming the government. Say they are not enough posts. They are enough posts. It's just that we don't have enough information. It's like we are lacking confidence. We think that our academic record will speak for us. No, it's not like that. You must work. Set goals. Tell yourself that this month I'm submitting testing. Do it. Change your cover letter. Look for information. Interact with other people. Ask someone, how did you get work? How was your CV? How was your cover letter? The interview. What did you do? What must I accept or what must I do or not do? Yeah.
So definitely, I think it's one of those things that we also spoke about. Do something with a purpose.
Yes.
As much as you set goals, at times you may not achieve them at that particular moment, but you can at least shift your goalpost.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. You shift your goalpost, you work at it again. Because there's nothing as painful as not doing something.
Because there's a saying that like the weight is not having been in the weight is preparation. Not being employed is preparation. So what are your preparations? What are you doing that shows that you are preparing? It's not just about like God is delaying me because He has something better for me next day. No. Maybe sometimes it's about maybe you are the enemy of your own progress.
Exactly.
Because you're just sitting, there's a course that they say there's a successful applicant, you're not going, you're not attending anything, there's a community hall around you, you're not using that building to say, okay, can I maybe like group learners, put them in that community hall, motivate them, teach them. And then you're gonna use that. Obvious, the community members or the mayor, they're gonna have to give you a testimony. Okay, we know this person. She or she does this for the community. So it will serve as an advantage to you. So okay, no, you're not just sitting. You are busy with something.
Okay, thank you very much, Thoko.
Thank you.
I like the positivity
Yes.
through, the difficult times, because it can't be easy qualifying and not finding a job. But like we said, you push, you set your goals, you've already set your goals, you submit those CVs, you look for different channels, you look for different ways on setting yourself apart when applying for particular positions. So we wish you all the best. I think with anybody that is interested, because sometimes you never know, people that might be watching might be interested or just wanting something from you. So whoever's interested in Thoko's CV or details, they can get them directly from Let's Hire. So just visit our website and get all the details, just so that we can help out. And make sure we said 20th of November.
Yes.
So we also have an obligation. Yes. So just to assist at least in trying to meet your goal for the 20th of November, we'll definitely be checking in with you. If there's something that we see from our side, we will be assisting you and giving you leads in terms of where to go. And if there are vacancies, then we can definitely share with you as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you, Thoko, for coming through. Thank you, everybody, for watching. So like we always say, I mean, the market is very, very difficult, but we need to get up and do certain things at times, as difficult as it is. And like I always say, you don't have to take anything from the podcast, but at least take one thing with you. So do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, goodbye.
1,